When I saw that we were learning by watching a video for this activity, I was not happy. I don't like learning through video. I don't like how it's hard to stop at the right spot to ponder. I don't like how it's difficult to back up to the right spot when I need to rethink. But I loved this video. It's packed with important thinking and concrete ideas. So much resonated with me, but I settled on these three. The first was that the best schools are over the top with motivating, and we know from research that reading comprehension goes up exponentially when when the person is actually interested in what they're reading about. So, if we can build in choice, interest, motive learning, and correct level of material, we will improve learning. And because there is no right answer to how to differentiate, we know that teacher mindset is the answer. Because there's no one way to differentiate, the teacher mindset is key. To quote somebody in the video, the student is always right. The teacher has to keep learning, has to keep searching for the answers to help those students. We find the right level and the right type of support. We consider strategies, resources, help from others, space, time, etc. So what do we need to do to make our classrooms better, to start and to improve? We have to know what a successful reading program is. We have to become skilled at really watching students and knowing their needs. That is the assessment piece. And we need to figure out how to be more and more flexible. So how did I differentiate in my class? I gave the students choice in tech or no tech. Many actually read and worked on their cell phones. They had a choice in culminating tasks. I gathered many resources to support different levels and interests, and they had a choice in those. Choice and strategy for guided reading was key as well. So we know from research how much interest increases reading comprehension. So I built most of my instruction around inquiry last year so the students pursued their interests. We also know from research that feedback is one of the strongest instructional moves we can make to improve student learning. So my biggest work the last couple years was around differentiating my feedback, how I gave the feedback. I worked on getting the best amount for each student and the correct mode to move each student. If you have some time, check out my feedback videos on my website. To differentiate for all my students, but especially for my students with ASD, I really relied on the iPad. This helped address their processing speed issues, not just in reading, but in actually all of their learning. I thought about time in my differentiation. My time was a little bit tied up because with grade 7s and 8s, they were on Rotary, but I made due dates, deadlines very flexible according to the complexity of tasks that students chose and according to student need. And all of this is driven by assessment. Differentiating in assessment, the students do not all have to show their learning in the same way. What I'm looking for with each student is different. And yeah, that's it for assessment. So I'm not working in a school right now, but I do have some wonderings. In the video, someone said that we have to be careful that we are not enabling, that we're accommodating but not enabling. And with my experience with teaching grade 8s, I have had several students who've come with 3 years of reading only using Kurzweil, and some who've never written more than a paragraph. That is a huge gap to address in their last year of elementary school. I'm just wondering, Is this an experience that is common with other schools? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. My second wondering is that it seems to me that after the primary grades, every student in the class seems to be reading the same text. So is that maybe why when we talk about losing our boys at about grade 4, is it because we are not hitting their interests? Is it because the challenge that these texts bring is not appropriate? It's either too hard or too easy? And I'm also wondering, does the actual reading instruction seem to stop after about grade 4? Is reading just something the kids do and they respond to reading, they talk about reading, but we actually stop teaching them to read? I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on that as well. Yeah, so not a fan of the whole video thing. And if we have a choice to make a video or not again, I will not be doing the video. Thanks for looking in. Bye.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.